All right, 11. Matt, I just want to give a shout out to the chief minion, my good friend, Steve Broder, who went out here and acquired Justin Jefferson for me and held on to him through the injury and then sent him over to me to help me win a fantasy championship. I appreciate it, Steve. Great work. Nobody suspects a thing either. This is the best kind of collusion. We colluded. I got Jefferson. I'm winning a championship. Thanks again. Appreciate you, buddy. Now I look at my matchup here with Tony Sr. And how can you look at this and not think Jefferson is just going to tilt the scales way over into my favor? I'm looking at our matchup. I got Patty Cakes Mahomes. He's ready to get it done in front of Taylor Swift. He wants to impress her. He's a Swiftie. I got Diggs, who's pissed off. He's going to dominate this week. I'm deciding between Nico Collins and DJ Moore. We'll see. I don't know. I might go Nico Collins. We'll see. Don't be mad at me, Mr. Bear. Now, on Senior's side of things, well, let's go bold prediction on my side first. Tony mother effing Pollard gets going this week. You're all going to regret that I got Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard's going for $150 and 3 tutties this week. Mega smash week, Tony Pollard. On Senior's side of things, Dak Prescott is going to keep dominating. One of Tony Pollard's touchdowns will probably be a receiving TD. I mean, do a little dump off and take it to the house. Adam Thielen, tough matchup against Dallas, but they're going to be chasing points. So fourth quarter potential garbage time hero, Adam Thielen. The always underrated Courtland Sutton, who's been just money lately, has a touchdown in 4 straight games. Courtland Sutton, great matchup, but across from him is going to be Justin Jettis Jefferson. So probably going to lose that battle. Looking here at the Gus Bus. Oh, man. Travis Etienne. Interesting matchup with Tennessee. He should do quite well. So my bold prediction on this side, I'm going to talk about the Niners defense against the Bucs. I'm going to say the Niners defense goes for 3 or less fantasy points. The Bucs are going to score points on the Niners. They're going to be chasing points, and they're going to score. The Niners defense has not been very good lately. It's going to be a rough go for them en route to, of course, me getting the dub. I'm getting the dub. You all know that. Now, password is taco versus no, you lock it up. And I'm going to look over this. CJ Stroud is dominant. It looks like Noah Brown is not suiting up this week. I don't think he's going to play. But CJ Stroud going to have a huge week. Highest over-under of the week is Texans versus Cardinals. I expect him to have a big week. Cooper Kupp, again, big week. Jacoby Myers, even know why he's really in the lineup. He's pretty boom bust. We'll see how that goes. Isaiah Pacheco, one of the worst real-life running backs in the NFL. He's right there with Alexander Madison, who's also terrible. But Madison is at least at Denver. Easy matchup if he plays. I don't know if he'll be able to get cleared from concussion protocol in time. It's not looking likely. So, not a lot of great things here for Reese. My bold prediction, though, is CJ Stroud keeps it going, at least 3 touchdowns. Huge game for CJ Stroud. Now, Tony Jr., I look over. I see Joe Mixon at Baltimore, absolutely not playable. Tony doesn't really have any other options, but it's a disaster of a matchup. Not expecting Joe Mixon to do much. Josh Allen bounces back this week against the Jets, though. Even though it's a tough defense, I think Josh Allen and these Bills are going to be ready to rock and roll. Jaylen Warren, starting running back this week for the Steelers, but he's at Cleveland. Tough matchup. Don't love that one either. What I do love, Puka Nacua. And that's where I'm going to go with the boldness here. Puka Nacua outscores Cooper Kupp en route to Tony Jr. getting the W. Now, Max peacocking versus peacocked in the Battle of the Peacock. So We got Jason versus Steve. Steve, who once again I have to thank for Justin Jefferson, the best wide receiver in the NFL. He's got Mike Evans at San Fran. I think Mike Evans has a good week. Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to smash the Bears. David Montgomery's definitely getting into the end zone at least once in the revenge game because they'll be able to beat the crap out of the Bears. Let's call it what it is. Sam Laporta, he's not going to do shit, though. Devin Singletary, great matchup at home against the Cardinals. He'll be useful this week. This will be his last week of usefulness, but will be useful this week. Really like Brock Purdy against the Bucs. I think Brock Purdy can have a pretty solid game. So, bold prediction time. I'm going to go with the forget that. Let's go with Jalen Waddle at home against the Raiders in a prime smash spot, scores 7 or less fantasy points because he's just a bum. That's what it is. Jalen Waddle's a bum. You should have traded him to Jared months ago. You didn't. You're stuck with him. He's a loser. Now, we're looking at Peacock here. Justin Herbert's in a smash spot at Green Bay. Jamar Chase going off tonight. CeeDee Lamb going off every week. Brandon Ayuk, great spot against Tampa Bay. Aaron Jones, great spot against the Chargers. So let's go bold prediction here. The Dallas defense goes for 15 plus at Carolina. Bryce Young is going to get murdered by this defense. En route to Jason taking home the dub. Now, a right proper thrashing versus Hurts real bad. Joe, looking at Joe's team, Jalen Hurts, Tank Dell, Jerome Ford, Javonte Williams, and Travis Kelce. I love all those guys this week. I think they all have great weeks. Don't love the Detroit defense just because Fields is back, so it's a wild card. You don't know. If they were facing Bagent, I would love them. They're facing Fields, and he's so volatile. It could be terrible for Fields or for the Denver or for the Detroit D. It could be great for him. Could go either way. I don't like throwing out wild card defenses. That's a wild card. Bold prediction time. My bold prediction here is going to be that Dalton Schultz outscores Travis Kelce from Joe's bench. And the reason I say that is because Dalton Schultz has a great matchup with Arizona. It has shootout written all over it. Travis Kelce, the Eagles are going to do everything they can to stop him. They're not going to be able to, but I just think Dalton Schultz, this is the week where he goes for 80, 90 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jared, I look over at his team. Tua, easy matchup against the Raiders with Tyreek Hill. Those two are going to smash. Devonta Smith is in a great spot against Kansas City. Jahmyr Gibbs in a deceptively tough matchup with the Bears, who have been the number 1 run defense in football since Matt Eberflus took over the defensive play calling. Saquon Barkley at Washington. The problem with Saquon is they have no other threat of anything else. So expect Washington to load up and stop Saquon. Let's go bold prediction here. I'm going to go bold and say Tua connects twice in the end zone with Tyreek Hill. 2 touchdowns to Tyreek en route to Jared getting the dub. Now, we got One Pride Mountain versus Commander-in-Chiefs in a battle of the 2 least active players in the history of our league. I'm looking over here at 2 guys that, I'm just happy they're setting their lineups at this point, Brad and Trey. But I don't really see any reason to take a whole lot of time reviewing this matchup. They're not taking a whole lot of time to set their teams. So I'm not going to put too much effort in here. Let's just go straight to bold predictions. Bold prediction, Lamar Jackson gets on track tonight against the Bengals, puts up 30-plus fantasy points. Huge game from Lamar Jackson. On Brad's side of things, Joe Burrow does not. Joe Burrow puts up less than 15 fantasy points at Baltimore en route to Trey actually getting the dub this week. Trey beats Brad. And there you go, guys. There's your matchup preview, and I will see you next week with a fully healthy Justin Jefferson. Thanks again, Steve.